Hello everyone, welcome to Blight Manor. We just got back from a movie, Hail Satan documentary, and
It was about the founding of the Church of the Satanic Temple or whatever, and how they fight for religious freedom and such. And we had some thoughts about the movie.
yeah, we had some thoughts. We do have thoughts about it. So, it was interesting in the beginning.
They seemed cool at first.
They seemed, yeah, because they were protesting,
Ten Commandments placements, those giant granite monuments on state government property, which I did not know. I learned during the movie that those were actually inspired during the C.C. DeMille era.
Yeah,
and they're basically like movie advertisements, and they
Walt
sent
Disney,
them all over the country.
Wasn't it Walt Disney?
No, it was C.C. DeMille.
Oh. But I thought it was the movie. The Ten Commandments.
That's his movie. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I thought it was Disney, or somehow it was related. Okay.
They all are the same dude, because all dudes are the same.
So
just with different names.
And then also in like meetings that they would have at the state.
And pray.
And pray before they started the sessions.
Yeah.
And so they were protesting that, and
by asking, for instance, if there's a Ten Commandment monument on the lawn, to have a Baphomet statue, which seems fair.
Yeah.
And the idea is not to, in fact, get the Baphomet statue. It's to get the Ten Commandments off our fucking government property that we all pay for.
So we didn't disagree with any of that. You know, I was like, okay, yeah, I can totally agree to, go along with this because...
And it was funny to watch the Christians freak out when they thought there was going to be satanic prayer before... It's just my bracelets. Before the before their meetings, they were freaking the fuck out.
Losing their minds. Oh, because
it's
interesting to see from this other perspective of, like, when we've been indoctrinated into this religious, sect, whether it's, Christian, well, it was on Christianity, but Catholicism and...
the Catholics freaking out too.
Yeah,
about that they wanted to do a black mass.
And black mass in Boston.
And the Catholics freaked the fuck out and had like
it was on
protests.
Harvard. It was supposed to be at Harvard. Which
they have a lot of fucking nerve, no, with the child molestation and the whatnot.
Yeah, so we had issues with that too.
But the thing that was really interesting about that was Jet, right?
Jet. What was her
name? I can't remember.
Blackwell. Yeah. So one of the gals out of Detroit had her own. Also had one of the groups, and then would come together and meet with the groups from all the other states, right? So she was fucking radical within this the group, the Satanists, as a whole, would come together. And what we noticed was that, for instance, when they went to Boston, it was a chaotic scene. There was the organization of everyone and where they needed to be and where.
And they got no platformed, which happens to TERFs all the time.
Right, they got no platform.
How do you deal with that?
And so then the
male
leader, male head, is just where do I go? Somebody direct me to go somewhere, and figure this out, and then I will show up. Because
and Jet took over and
made it happen. And had it all come together like women do when we, as a collective female, group
we're always
of
cleaning
women.
up men's messes and men's.
Yeah, and think about it too. Actually, I want to make mention of this, that it's when you have a dynamic where there's men in charge and organizing things, it's a fucking chaotic mess. Who organizes, let's say, a household and multitask and get shit done like nobody's business? Women who's been doing it forever and a day and continues. And so that Boston group happened, and she's really fucking radical. She was saying a lot of really
She was calling for the execution of certain political figures who we all know.
Right. And she was about, radicalization in that starting shit.
Not working within the system.
Breaking it and bringing, attention to the hierarchy and of patriarchy. She said it more than once, patriarchy. Well, the dudes in the Satanist, church didn't like that.
Freaked out.
They freaked out.
Because Detroit.
Yeah.
Women from Detroit are terrifying.
She was saying it, she said it's time to burn shit down.
Yeah, she did. And she's not wrong, right?
And she wasn't wrong.
What did Audrey tell us? You cannot destroy the master's house using the master's tools. And that's exactly what these men were doing. In fact, they even said we want to work through their legal system. Why would we work through male's legal system to fix male-made problems?
They're males. That's why they did. Yeah. That's why they wanted to do that. And that's... She went the other direction. And when they saw that happening, well then...
They threw her ass out.
They threw her out.
And they had an interview with her and she said, it's kind of... It really says something to be thrown out of... When you get thrown out of the Satanists,
she got thrown out.
Go girl.
So we were just like...
if you ever see this, I would like to buy you a drink, sister.
Yes, exactly. It doesn't matter what group or the dudes are gonna do.
Ruin it. They'll ruin it.
The dudes there was a lot of the male ego going on. Huge. Like the attention. He was actually the head of the organization. What I noticed was when the legal action was in place to get the 10 Commandments removed. This is the one in Arkansas. That he referred to it as I.
Yeah.
And I'm doing this. Versus
it was clearly a team effort.
Yeah,
right?
Team effort, community. But it's when it gets to a point of I'm the one standing up here. It is now my voice. I am doing this. Versus...
So all they managed to do was recreate the same hierarchy that men always managed to do. Just the only thing these dudes are mad about with any dude ever, he wants to be the one up here. That he's just mad that he's not the one up here. So he did that, and he made his own where he was up there. So, and the biggest problem that we had, even though they're tenets 4 and 5, which I couldn't recite them to you, but they were about reality-based beliefs and science being real.
Yeah, they had 7 tenets. So
4 and
we
5
noticed
were
4 and 5
to this.
Very applicable to. They were voicing very strongly about science, believing in science,
reality.
But
yet, guess who was in the movie about 100,000 times and who we almost had to throw out of the bathroom? Consuelo stopped me, but we did leave the bathroom, and I gave the guy a look like, dude, you're so clocked.
We're out.
So it was Tranny City. It was Tranny motherfucking City in this movie. So, obviously, it's male-led. They're going to want males to be in minstrel, in woman face, to mock us and make fun of us in a way that you would never be able to do in any other fashion. But
they did have a couple of women.
Oh,
I don't,
right.
I don't know if they were lesbians or not, but they had them at one of the altars, kissing, making out, and that was it. They didn't get a voice. They didn't get to say anything.
And the gay boys got to talk a little bit.
Yeah, the gay boy got to talk a lot actually, and the trannies got their say in there too, and
a lot.
But the lesbians got to make out at an altar, and for
males, eyes,
gays,
eyes. Which I want to mention, the gal from Detroit, she had the naked males on stage in chains, which I feel is the only appropriate.
Sacks over their heads.
With sacks over their heads, right? So, that's appropriate. The other ones would have naked women and all the girls. All the girls and women.
Female,
they looked like they were headed to a slut walk march. Like, can you be any more male pleasing in your demeanor and appearance? And of course, the showing that we went to, because it was a really limited release, was full of Satanists all patting themselves on the back, and all the women, they were just, hops. Sorry, Lee,
hops.
Thanks for the
Lee.
word. Hops. We're like, hops. And there was a panel at the end, but we laughed because...
Shout out to Lee. I
didn't want to get arrested tonight. I got
there was a panel at the end, and we're like, it was all dudes.
I just cannot.
But they were being... interviewed by the female reporter.
Yeah, they had one woman moderating and everybody else was
moderating. And,
so a lot of dudes.
We gotta go.
Dudes. Anything else?
No. Fuck! We can't even, go out.
We're to the left of the church of motherfucking Satan. We would not be accepted in the church of Satan. That's how extreme our views of reality are.
We were, in our seats. And we were saying it.
We were so off.
We were just we are those
horrible women.
Yeah, goers that is gonna say it
because the guys running the church were literally in the
there you go. Oh, let's guess. Patriarchy.
Yeah.
Oh, male ego. Yeah. Oh, look, it's all dudes. Hey, dudes. Yeah. Dudes and dudes.
Because the dudes that were in the movie were right in the row ahead of us. We were just in the second row. So,
Notice what happened here? Oh, yeah, dudes. Wow. So
that was a disappointment. I thought we were really gonna get along, and we agreed on a lot of stuff, but they don't go to the root. Can I just say that thing about the abortion? Yeah. So when we went to a protest at Planned Parenthood a few years back, and they had a couple of their, they do this thing where they have dudes just in horrible baby heads and diapers, which is amusing, and I give them that. They do amusing protests.
Actually, it was funny.
The only thing that I disagree with their approach is that they were arguing for, science doesn't say when life starts. You know what? I don't give a fuck what science says about when life starts. It ain't none of man's business. None of their business. Our first mistake was forgetting how to do our own abortions, girls. Mm-hmm. And you know what? There's ways to do it. I'm going to talk about that later. But growing herbs and whatnot. Mm-hmm. But our first mistake was giving up the power of doing that. And the second was letting them be in charge of our abortions and pretending like science has any fuck. Who gives a fuck? It's our bodies. We decide. There's no discussion. There is no discussion to be had on this.
My body, my choice.
And so the church, of course, being made of males, doesn't. They have no radical analysis at all. And that's all I have to say. Yeah. This is a long video. Anything else, baby?
The end. White man are out.
I only have one, so I do this one for Lefty.
Out.